You know the scene, right? It's late. The office is quiet. And you're staring at that blinking cursor on a blank page, trying to make sense of the month's numbers. You're pulling data from 3 different systems, stitching reports together, and trying to craft a story that explains why things moved. It's that classic month-end grind. And honestly, it's burning out some of the best people in finance. But what if there was a genuinely smarter way to work? So let's get right into it. This is a practical, no-hype introduction to a tool called Claude Projects, built specifically for the kind of work we do every day in financial planning and analysis. All right, here's our game plan. We'll start with the pain point we all know too well, then look at a much smarter workspace. We'll walk through 3 practical wins you can use right away, talk about what this all means for our roles, and then wrap up with a simple, low-risk way you can get started this week. Okay, so the real problem here is that finance teams spend way too much time on manual, repetitive work. I saw a professional on Reddit describe it perfectly. He said the real pain isn't the complex modeling, it's the repetitive stitching. Pulling data, cleaning up formats, and rebuilding the same report pack month after month after month. So how do we fix that? Well, the answer isn't just opening up another blank chat window. It's about creating an intelligent workspace that actually remembers you, your files, and your process, day in and day out. I want you to think of a cloud project like a dedicated expert intern that you assign to a single task. You give it all the background files, your budget, your actuals, your report templates, but you only have to do it once. It holds on to all that context, ready to go whenever you are, without you having to re-explain everything every single morning. And this is the key difference right here, persistence. A standard chatbot forgets everything the moment you close the window. With Claude Projects, the context sticks around. It provides what one analysis called clean separation by design, which just means your Q2 board deck project isn't going to get mixed up with your annual budget project. And, really important for anyone in finance, its default policy is not to use your data for training. That's a huge privacy difference when you're handling sensitive numbers. So how can we actually use this? Let's look at 3 tangible wins that automate the most boring parts of FP&A, which frees you up for the work that actually matters. First up, the big one, variance commentary. For so many of us, this is the most time-consuming part of the monthly close, translating those raw numbers into a narrative the business can understand. The process is actually pretty simple. You create a project, call it monthly variance analysis. You upload your budget and your actual spreadsheets just once. Then you give it a prompt like, analyze the budget versus actuals. For any variance over 5%, identify the root causes and write a first draft explanation using our standard format. It does the heavy lifting and gives you a first draft to work from. And this really gets to the heart of the benefit. As one finance pro put it on Reddit, the goal isn't for the AI to spit out a perfect final copy. The real win is that going from draft to final is way faster than blank page to final. You're an editor now, not an author starting from scratch. Okay, so let's build on that and get a bit more forward-looking. Use case number 2 is dynamic reforecasting and scenario planning, something that can take days to model out by hand. So here, you can ask Claude to build you a full 3-statement model in Excel. From there, you define your key assumptions and ask it to create different scenarios. Say a base case, a bull case with 10% higher growth, and a bear case with a 15% decline. Then it can run sensitivity analysis on your key drivers, like customer acquisition cost or churn. The power here is all about speed and iteration. An analysis on the Claude AI subreddit found it builds multi-scenario financial models with sensitivity analysis in minutes. This lets you test way more assumptions and give leadership a much richer, more complete picture of what could happen. All right, our final use case is all about communication. Taking all that great analysis and turning it into a compelling, executive-ready presentation for the board. So, inside your Q3 board deck project, you upload the final financial reports and maybe some key operational dashboards. Then you prompt it. Draft a board presentation covering Q3 performance. Give me an executive summary, a financial deep dive, and an updated outlook. And while you're at it, generate some concise speaker notes for each slide. And this really points to a bigger strategic shift. A commenter in the FP&A community said it perfectly. The real unlock is when finance starts owning lightweight automation, instead of waiting on dev. This isn't about massive, multi-year IT projects. It's about finance teams building the tools they need for the processes they already own. Now, I know this is the part where people can start to get a little nervous. If AI can do all of this, what's left for us? But let's be crystal clear. This tool automates tasks. It does not automate judgment. An AI can tell you what happened. Sales are down 10%. but it can't tell you why in a way that truly matters. It doesn't have the business judgment to know a competitor just launched a new product. It doesn't have the strategic context to know you're planning a market exit. It definitely can't read the stakeholder nuance in a tense board meeting. And it's not great at true root cause interpretation. It just spots correlations. That still requires our human insight. So here's the bottom line. AI is not your competition, it's your tool. The most cited analysis on this says it all. AI won't replace finance professionals, but finance professionals using AI will be 3x more productive. This is all about elevating your role from being a data assembler to being a true strategic advisor. And that brings up a really critical question for every finance manager, every controller, every CFO out there. When your team gets 10, 15, maybe 20 hours back every single month, what are you going to do with that new capacity? How will you reinvest that time into deeper analysis, better business partnering, or developing the strategic skills of your team? That is the real leadership challenge in this new era of AI. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, but the most important part is just getting started. So let's make this incredibly simple and actionable. Here's your first step to take this week. Look, don't try to boil the ocean. Just pick one small, repetitive task. Maybe it's formatting one specific report or drafting the initial commentary for just one department. Create a new project, upload the 2 or 3 files it needs, and write a simple prompt describing the exact steps you normally take. Then just see what it comes up with. That's it. It's a low-risk experiment that could save you hours next month. We really believe the future of finance is about pairing our human judgment with powerful tools like this one. So what's the first repetitive task you'd automate? Let us know down in the comments. And if you found this useful, subscribe to the FI² Club for more explainers breaking down practical AI tools for finance professionals. Thanks for watching.